Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And as you've most likely already seen yesterday, we talked about a potential settlement that could be around the corner. Now, two of our most important lawyers have spoken about it, and here is the opinion of one of them. James Phelan just said, "Everything I say here is speculation, but based on my experience," and his experiences as a defense lawyer, former federal prosecutor, "nothing I say is legal advice. I'm not your lawyer. Don't trade based on anything I say here. Do your own research." So he most likely knows his stuff. But based on experience, I have a different take on what is happening in this case. I don't think that anyone should expect a settlement anytime soon. And straight from that sentence right there, this is about to get really interesting because he has quite a contradictory opinion to what the majority of others have said, like, for example, Jeremy Hogan. And I'm going to quickly, if I cannot right click, there we go. I will show you guys that in just a second. But guys, before we get into any of that, make sure you check out Bybit. A link is down below. For the next 2 or 3 days, there's a $1,600 worth of free bonus that you can get for signing up. So check it out. A link is down below. And there's about to be a couple of competitions coming up, so you want to be part of the team. All right, let's quickly read what James has said and then compare it to what another lawyer has said earlier. "The government is not giving up. Based on everything I've read, Ripple will not give in. I do think that the Hinman deposition went forward. I don't think Ripple would forfeit that opportunity. Ripple said Hinman has, quote, unique first-hand knowledge about the SEC's communications with third parties about the agency's adoption or approval of his well-publicized speech in 2018 about the regulatory treatment of cryptocurrencies," end quote. If they can find out specifically who he spoke with and what was said, quote, information that Mr. Hinman can provide himself, end quote, Ripple can learn information about what the SEC said to market participants that is crucial to Howey, the aiding and abetting charge, and the fair notice defense. I want to quickly, straight off the bat, say that this is making some sense, but not too much. Even though I very much respect James as an attorney and his opinion is very valuable to me, I think on this point he is a little bit wrong, because if you actually listen to the hearing, which we all did on this channel, you know that the judge basically said she wouldn't have authorized this deposition if it was only to understand and get an idea of who and what was said in the talks before and after the deposition. Because the judge basically issued as well, or said, that if they wanted to get that, there are a lot of easier ways to get that information. So if we're talking about the perspective that Ripple might want to use the info critical surrounding the William Hinman deposition, but not about the deposition, surrounding the William Hinman speech, but not the speech itself, they could get that through other means. Like, for example, the judge said that an assistant, for example, which is always there, would have also most likely known exactly who he talked with, and the majority of these things would be locked down. If he spoke about some stuff, it would have most likely been noted down, and so it wasn't necessary to go through a deposition process. And from that perspective too, I don't really believe that that would have been Ripple's main objective, and theoretically speaking, they could have skipped that part to ask it in a certain different way if really need be. So that is my point on that one. James's take is that Ripple got names of who Hinman and others talked to and what was said, and now Ripple is out there interviewing those people. I guess that could be. I'm of course not sure exactly how that works with the court. We've seen before that Ripple put up different motions because they wanted to interview specific persons, but sometimes you actually find out about those in the attachments, which might come out when the next motion is filed. So that might take a little bit of time for us to see. I also understand that people are mad about the SEC's actions and inactions after all this time, but in my opinion, this case really isn't about punishing the SEC or anyone else. When a party focuses on hurting the other side, they lose focus on winning for themselves. This case is about winning and making the whole crypto space succeed. If the SEC or anyone else gets hurt in the process, they brought it onto themselves. But that is not the goal here. The goal is to clean this mess up and move forward. So I don't think a settlement is coming anytime soon. This is war, and I think we should settle for the long haul. I guess he has a point. Gotta quickly make that clear. He has a point because from the bottom perspective and even the top here, bottom basically said this is war, and it's about more than just hurting the other side, and so there's more to be fought out. I guess that's true. You can also say it's untrue because ultimately they all have one goal, which is SEC wants to make money and have rules that they can enforce basically in their own personal gain fashion. And Ripple, of course, wants proper clarity for themselves and to continue their operations. So theoretically, even though it's war and they are working for the bigger picture, obviously, if they can really put themselves up a couple of layers, they would do it. And so from that perspective, yeah, and no. I still would guess that if they got the chance, they would settle. And from the top perspective, where we basically read that none of these parties will basically give in, that's also not true. As I just said, if you got to give an inch to get a mile, you would most likely do it, right? And that's basically what the SEC and Ripple could have done here. Basically given in just a little bit to get way more out of it. And so I wouldn't necessarily tell you either that is something you should hold too dearly. Now, to compare it to what Jeremy Hogan has said, he is basically of the opinion that there's something really fishy going on with the internal SEC documents. They haven't given them over, which is definitely quite odd. There haven't been any motions filed over the last couple of days. Ripple didn't file any new response to the SEC. All those things are lining up, and these are all basically abnormalities in a normal case, as they're all time sensitive, and Ripple is usually quite quick with them. So why wait, right? Why wait for such a long while? If you compare it, there's not necessarily anyone that's more probable because obviously there could just be abnormalities and things just taking a little bit longer. Theoretically speaking, Ripple could be focused on interviewing people rather than going on with this deposition and finding out more privilege issues and whatnot. Once more, even though it's strange, it could be. It could. We don't really know too much about the insights. It is only when we see one motion that we're going to see if the deposition actually took place and what exactly is going on. Theoretically speaking, that's again another kind of base layer. They could be in talks of settlement really far into it and still put up some motions, which I guess we'll learn about more later. So things are not ruled out. Things are not really clear. We do have a couple of different ways that this could roll out, though, and kind of blow over. But we're going to have to wait a couple of days or maybe a couple of weeks for the judge or Ripple or the SEC to put up a new letter or file something in the system, basically, before we can move on and conclude anything. Right now, it's just open field. We have no clue. By the way, guys, if you want these updates even sooner, make sure you follow me over on Twitter. The name on there is TheDustDBC. I recommend you guys wholeheartedly to check it out. Then Bobby11 posted on Twitter, Elon Musk, this is what happened at the SEC and their attack on Ripple and crypto. What's your opinion? Timing is everything, lol, Bitcoin, Ether, XRP. And I find it funny that I believe ETH changed to, what is it? Ethiopian flag, maybe? From the ETH logo. That was pretty funny to me. Or was there never an ETH logo? I think, was there never an ETH logo? I guess there was Tron, there was Binance, there was Bitcoin. Maybe it was even a crypto.com, but maybe, I'm not sure if there was actually an ETH logo there. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Maybe there wasn't. But now the Ethiopian logo, I think is pretty damn funny how that one has moved. I guess Ethiopia, if it is more important than Ethereum. Pretty funny. Ex-SEC Chair Jay Clayton takes crypto advisor role at One River. The asset manager bet big on crypto last year, March 29, 2021. And then let's see here. Jay Clayton's last day at SEC resulted in $50 billion cryptocurrency crash. The SEC chair, Jay Clayton, resigned on Wednesday after his recent action against Ripple triggered a $50 billion cryptocurrency sell-off. I do wonder if eventually Elon Musk will come out and say something about it as well. US-based hedge fund to increase Bitcoin exposition to $1 billion. This is, of course, a couple of days before the lawsuit was filed. One River Asset Management has bought $600 million in Bitcoin in November and plans to expand their crypto portfolio to $1 billion. Guys, don't forget that James and others are pointing out this battle is also being fought for this specific issue. Did Jay Clayton do something fraudulent? Was he and Mr. Hinman biased? Was this whole One River Asset Management thing done with some knowledge that the rest of the market couldn't have had, and we're wondering about those things too, right? And then SPQR Lee posted this: as confident now as I was when I was going deep dives on XRP to change lives, I've been sat here hodling and adding to my bags quietly whilst the show goes on. It's all theater. I've had to deal with the wife many times asking me to exit. She doesn't know what's coming, but I do. And that's a little fun fact I wanted to share with a lot of you guys. Don't think it's just you who's been having a hard time hodling or adding to their stash. For a lot of families, it is extremely difficult to hold through because there's a lot of pressure on their heads because your investment might look like a bad one and you might look like a moron in the family. Make sure you understand, though, you are not alone. There's hundreds, thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or millions of people who are just in the same shoes as you are, just quietly adding, getting some hatred from the family for losing money. But ultimately, I hope and I think it'll all be worth it. So stay holding. If you want to trade, make sure you check out Bybit. A link is down below. There's $1,600 worth of bonuses that you can get. So I think it's worth it to check it out. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today.